Hey folks, integration is very important because whenever a software to work properly, there must be an integration and a whole end-to-end application. There will be an integration between each of the modules. So in this video, let us understand what is integration testing and what are the different types of integration testing. Let's begin. Integration testing is a type of testing where software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group. Okay. Any software module will work well individually, but when they are integrated with a different module, there are chances where the software might not behave as intended or expected. And the main purpose of this level of testing is to expose the defects in the interaction between these software modules when they are integrated. Basically, while developing a software, we will develop an individual screen first. And on that screen, it just those functionalities will work. And if I want to navigate to the next screen, there must be an integration between these two, then only the next module will work, otherwise they will work individually fine, but when they are integrated, how well they work is what we test in integration testing. And also in this phase we will also find the defects where if something has broken or something is not working, all this can be found by doing this integration testing. To give you an example, let's say we have module A, consider it as a Facebook login screen. On the login screen, it will be developed individually, and upon entering username and password, and you will click on submit button. So that is an individual screen, and there must be some integration. If you want to navigate to the next screen, next you will navigate to the home screen, correct? At that time, there will be an integration between these two modules, different modules. While developing, they will be developed individually, but after integration, they work as an together, they work together. Okay, suppose while testing that, on click of submit button you are not taken to the next screen, that is an issue, right? So those things will be tested as part of the integration testing. And going ahead to the types of integration testing, we majorly have two different types of integration testing. One is incremental integration testing, and another is Big Bang integration testing. They are majorly two different types of integration testing. However, the incremental integration testing can be further divided into bottom up approach, top down approach, and sandwich approach. Let us also see all these different types of testing. Incremental integration testing. Incremental integration testing is performed by combining logically related two or more modules. Okay. Uh, it is as simple as that. Two or more related modules are combined and tested. Okay. Every module will be added one by one until the tester complete the whole system. Okay. Um, while developing a software, as I mentioned, we'll develop it as an individual module, and later one by one each of the modules will be added. New features will be added and integrated. With this approach, you can test the system for defects at an early stage in the smaller unit when it is reasonably easy to identify the cause. Whenever we do it initially, it is easy for us to find the defects and also fix it. Bugs found with this testing can be fixed without disturbing the other modules. Since there is a one level of integration, then you can directly go ahead and fix it. But when it gets integrated with different modules, the data will be flowing, right? So that calculation might miss. All that can cause a more and more issues. Rather than that, whenever we doing it initially, then only if we find and fix it, it is easy. Okay, this method generally uses stubs and drivers for testing. We will also understand what is stubs and what is driver. Okay, Stubs and drivers are basically dummy modules created for testing the integration between the modules. General definition is that it is basically a dummy module which can be used while performing the integration testing. Let us see it. And it goes in an incremental way, as it is like first level of module will be tested, and after that next level of module will be tested, integrated and tested, and it goes in this hierarchy. Next is bottom up integration testing. The name itself is saying that the flow goes from bottom to top, right? Here the testing starts from lowest module in an architecture. The testing flow moves upwards from the bottom. Okay. Here, this method will be executed whenever top modules are under the development. This method will use the drivers to test the integration with the module that is missing. I mentioned about stubs and drivers. Here we will see what is drivers basically. Suppose I have a software where the module D is ready and module E is ready and F is ready. So I'll start my testing with module D, E and F. But while testing this, uh, B module is not ready, but it has a dependency. This module, once only B is integrated, then only I'll be able to test this D module. But since it is not ready, what they'll do is they'll create a dummy working module called drivers to test the or to make this dependency easy, so that it will be easier for testers to continue with the testing. But it is not a real working module; it is just a dummy module. Okay. Going ahead to the next approach, which is top down integration testing. In this approach, testing is performed from topmost module in the architecture. The testing control flow moves to the bottom module from the top. It is quite opposite of that. How? There we started with D, E, F, but here we are coming by this way: A, B, C, D, E, F. We'll start from the top module and then we will test the bottom modules. Okay, this method will use stubs to test the module that is missing. The opposite way of drivers, which is stub. While testing a module, suppose that is missing there, in the bottom up approach we will create drivers, but in top down approach we will create stubs, which is also a dummy program or a dummy module to to proceed with the testing. It helps. And the last approach in the incremental integration testing is the sandwich integration testing. So this is an hybrid model. Basically, it is a combination of bottom up approach and top down approach. Okay. In this approach, bottom modules are tested with the top modules, and at the same time, the top modules are tested with the lower modules. It is an hybrid module basically. The goal here is to reach the mid module by testing both top and bottom modules simultaneously. Since it is an hybrid approach and it uses both bottom up and then top down, we use both stubs and drivers, which are dummy modules, to test the application. And the last or the second way of integration testing is the Big Bang integration testing. This type of testing usually performed only after all the modules are developed. It cannot be performed individually, basically, performing integration. So, this is something where all the modules must be ready. Then only you can perform this Big Bang approach. This sort of testing generally suits smaller systems. This is only for small projects which just has like few modules, one two, like three four modules. Just with that modules we can easily go with this Big Bang approach, though every module will be developed before even starting the integration testing. The biggest disadvantage here is some of your resources will be unproductive as they have to wait for all the modules to be developed before starting the testing process, and thus making it costly and time consuming. It is very much time consuming because it cannot be integrated with one module and can be tested. It requires all the modules to be ready. Correct. So this is all about the integration testing and its types. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.